Welcome to the Astronaut Arcade Podcast, where your space hosts, Andromeda, Cowboy, Ranger, and Native Raider share stories, tips, and the latest information on anything video game related. Today, we're going to be talking about Wild Hearts. Now, without further ado, let's begin the countdown to launch. What is going on, everybody? We are back, and I have my very special friend, Chickeny, King of the Chickens, A.K.A Beef, here to help me talk about a game that I got him into very recently. What's going on, Beef?
What's up, dude? How you been?
Oh, it has been a week.
Yeah.
I have dubbed this week Hell Week.
Oh, Hell Week. That's
Hell Week.
exciting.
Yeah. I did 3 12s in a row in a 9, and I was going to do another 12 on Friday, but I called out of my second job, and I did a 8 today. So
That's
60 hours, like exact.
That's a lot of effort.
Yeah. And on top of that, I'm getting looked at a lot for management potential at Costco in my building. So I've been talking to actual management, and they're kind of sort of hinting at what they want to see from me. So this past week, I've been taking the extra steps to learn more about what goes on behind the scenes and like how to figure out what's going on in the supervisory position.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a lot of extra brain power needed to be used on top of working crazy hours.
Yeah, I cannot relate. So in my field, I try to do everything in my power to avoid having to be responsible for other people. So yeah, being a tech, I could try to move up to like service manager or whatever, and that was a goal at one point, but then I've decided like I'm good. Like doing what I do and like the way I get paid, the way I do things, like I I literally don't give a shit what anyone else is doing until whatever they're doing affects what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So like until somebody is physically in my way from me completing my job or in the way of me completing my job, I don't give a crap what they're doing. They could play on their phone for 4 hours a day for all I care because that person playing on their phone doesn't affect me. And it makes my life so much less stressful
Yeah.
than if I was a manager. Like there's some guys at the shop who the very short version of the story is they were given imaginary titles to make them feel like they're important because they saw information they weren't supposed to see because someone above them screwed up. Is a very short version. So they were given these imaginary titles, and ever since then they think that they're special. And so they always felt the need to try to tell me what I can and can't do. And I don't do well with that. So like I can deal with authority if it's somebody who does physically have authority over me. But if you have this imaginary sense of authority, like you think you're special, like if I went to Walmart and an employee tried to tell me I can't walk there, like no, you can go do something else, buddy. Like I'm doing my thing here. But like, and that's being if I was doing nothing wrong. But like at work, like I'd have them like I'd sit down for 30 seconds and they'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing? Don't you gotta get to work on this? Don't you gotta do that?" No, I'm gonna do what I need to do, and I'm still gonna make hours. Leave me alone. But more props to you though for trying to move up and do supervisor type stuff. Because I'm assuming in your role, because you're in like a warehouse type environment, right?
Yeah.
So for you, moving up to supervisor would definitely be a big step up the food chain. I'm assuming anyway.
Yeah. So essentially, as of today, because it could change tomorrow. I have no idea when it pay scale changes and stuff like that would happen. But as of today, if I were to be told tomorrow that I'm getting put into a supervisor position as a permanent supervisor, I would get a $10 an hour raise.
Holy shit, that's a big jump.
Yeah. So and I looked, it would take me the better part of the next 2 to 3 years to reach that pay level. So if I make supervisor within the next year and a half, that's still anywhere from a $3 to $7 raise.
Still
So,
though, a $10 an hour bump if you do make it to supervisor, that's huge.
well, that's
$10
tomorrow.
an hour?
That's like tomorrow. You know,
Yeah,
it'll get the longer I'm with the company, the less the raise actually is because
because you'll get your
supervisors,
progressive.
yeah, and
Yeah.
supervisors essentially make what the cap out is. I think they make maybe $1 or 2 over the cap out, but
Okay.
that's it. So, but yeah, so as of today, if I were to be a supervisor tomorrow, I would get a $10 raise.
Still though, that'd be cool though. You
Mhm.
said you've been putting in tons of effort and tons of extra hours and busting your ass getting shit done. So I'm sure somebody's paying attention, and I'm sure you're probably on the fast track to getting there.
I'm hoping. I
Because
still
you've
got
only
a
been there what, like a year or two?
year and a half.
Oh yeah, you got this.
Yeah. So, I'm hoping that because I'm actually talking with managers. So like the position I'm shooting for right this second is supervisor, which is one step above floor and one step below manager. But
Mhm,
I've been actually talking with the managers, figuring out, hey, what do I need to do? Like, what things do I need to learn? What do you guys want me to know? And then asking questions about those things, like why do we do it this way? What's going on over there? What's happening right now?
mhm.
Why is it that this is coming down from the top? And why are we like what is the reasoning for the top saying that? You know, asking those questions that are important to be like, hey, I want to understand what's going on so that I can implement it in the best way possible for you. You know,
Look at you go. You're trying to suck all the right toes. No, seriously, that's awesome though. I'm happy for you, man. You're talking
yeah.
to the right people to try to advance yourself. So like little tidbit. So when I first started as a tech, which my God, this makes me feel old. This has been eight. What year are we in? 24. I started in 2016. So yeah, 8 years ago, when I interviewed for my first tech job, or no, I guess it was technically my second tech job because my first one was a waste of time. My second job, they sat me down and they gave me this whole bullshit interview of what's your goal in 1 year, what's your goal in 5 years, what's your goal in 10 years. And for some reason, that was like the one of the few moments in my life that stuck with me. And I remember
Hmm.
this interview because they were like, "What's your goal in 1 year?" I said, "1 year, I want to be improved a little bit. I want to be to the point where I'm totally independent." Because at this point, I was still very new to the field, so there was a lot of not necessarily hand holding, but I had a lot of questions. Well, as native just broke whatever he broke, or not native. My God, Ranger.
I didn't break anything. I just dropped my phone on something metal, so it was loud.
Oh, anyway, uh, yeah. So the 1 year was like, I just want to improve a little bit, and they're like, "What's your goal in 5 years?" I said, "5 years, I want to be shop foreman, like someone that's a shop foreman is essentially not all dealerships have it. It's shop foreman's typically something that would occur in a dealership that has a lot of people in it. Um, but if you were in a shop with just a few people, shop foreman's kind of like not something that typically happens. It's usually something when there's only one or two managers for like 20 techs. Then you'll have a shop foreman somewhere in the middle who helps to kind of fill the void when the manager's not around to ask questions. I was like, okay, sure, I want to try to get to that point. And they were like, well, what's your goal in 10 years? I said, in 10 years, I want to be sitting in the seat you're sitting in.
Hmm.
And when I said that, and now, mind you, at the time when I said that 8 years ago, I would have been 20. So I couldn't even legally drink yet. And I'm sitting there telling them, I want to be sitting in your seat. And they both like looked at me and looked at each other and they were like, all right, you're hired. And now, granted, at the time, like, what the hell did I get hired at back then? It was like $11 an hour or something. So, which is honestly even 8 years ago is that's
Not
pitiful.
much.
Like, especially nowadays, like, if you compare it to nowadays, like, you could work at a gas station and make $18 an hour.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the way the world's gone. But, um, obviously, I at least thank God I'm not making $11 an hour anymore. But, um, yeah, it's just one of those things that, like, when I said that, I was like, "Okay, cool, this is a goal I wanna have." Now, the big difference between where I was then or the company I was trying to work for then versus now, so I don't know if you've noticed just in general across the country, but most of the time, like, if you see a Ford so, like, I work for Ford Motor Company now. If you see a Ford dealership is typically only owned by, like, one main head, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like if you see like, a lot of times you'll see, like, Toyota, Nissan, Subaru, they'll all be owned by Joe Schmo's Toyota, Joe Schmo's Mazda. They're all owned by the same people, but a lot of times when you
Mhm.
see Ford, it's kinda just one little thing. There is there is definitely, I'm sure, different companies out there that own more than one. And as I'm saying this, I can think of one that's local to me. But like a lot of times though, Ford dealerships are just owned by this one main person. Now, the company that I was applying for at the time was a multi-million-dollar company that owned like 40 different dealerships. So at the time, it was like it was more comparable to working at Costco and saying, I want to move up the chain of command because there's thousands of people here. I can move up that chain of command because those thousands of people are going to be constantly moving around.
Yeah.
Versus where I'm at now, they own, well, they just recently acquired a second property, but they only, like, I went from a company that was well over 1,000 employees to under 200.
Yeah.
So it's not as feasible in my current situation to be moving up the food chain. Although I have learned as a mechanic, though, if you get very badly injured, but to the point that you're still like cognitive, that's how you move up. If you have a good bit of knowledge and you're able to help other techs without having to do physical labor, that's how you move up. So I just need to like break my leg or something, and then I think I'll be able to move up.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
It's a weird thing because like you have to want to, right? If you don't want to, you're never going to.
Yeah.
So for me, and I actually talked with the manager about this today, like 2 years ago, I did not have the same drive I do now.
Mhm.
Right? I would not have worked 60 hours in a week 2 years ago. I would have said, fuck that. I'm going home and going to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's all about perspective. You know, you change your perspective, you change what your goals are, you realize where you want to be. I think I've told this story on this podcast before, but you know, there was a day that I walked in and I asked my supervisor 4 times in 1 week, "Hey, can I go help them? Can I go learn that? Can I go help them? Can I go learn that?" And he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, why do you keep asking me that? Why do you want to be over there so bad?" And I said, "Well, honestly, because if I'm going to take your job, I need to know this department front ways, back ways, sideways."
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he was kind of like the same thing you did. You know, you said, "I want to sit in your seat." It was kind of like I told him the same thing. If I want to take your job, I have to be better than you. And I have to know this. I have to know at minimum exactly what you know.
Mhm.
And since that day, he treated me different from the rest of our team. He expects more out of me. He gives me more responsibility. Comes down harder on me when I mess up. Um, you know, and like everybody else thinks that I'm his favorite, and I mean, it's not true. I just do my job and I do it well, so he doesn't have to come down on me as much.
So I don't have a lot of warehouse experience. My wife does. So my wife, she works with Amazon essentially. She doesn't work for Amazon, but Amazon obviously being as big as they are, they have a metric shitload of warehouses. So at one point in time, prior to getting the job I currently have, I was working an hourly shitty mechanic job and I was not making a lot of money. So I picked up part-time work with her company. And if Costco warehouses are anything like Amazon warehouses, and I'm sure there's plenty of decent people that work in these warehouses. I'm sure there's plenty of decent ones. But my God, is there a lot of bottom of the barrel people in that building?
Yeah.
Like there were a few that like, and the ones that are good are the ones who are not at the very entry level positions. The ones that are
Mhm.
competent and do their job, they move up very quickly. But there's a lot of people who literally go there just to get that basic ass check
They
and
clock
then
in,
go home.
clock out, and go home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is not me trying to like diss on everybody who works at a warehouse or anything, because there are plenty of people who are competent and who do their jobs there. But there is also a lot of people that go through those doors. And those are the people that last a month or two. And then
Mhm.
they leave. And then they go to the next warehouse. And then the next one. And then the next one. So like it's a different breed of people.
Yeah. Costco doesn't
But
particularly have that problem of the hopping from warehouse to warehouse, but that's just because they'll hire you at part time and you get full benefits as if you were full time.
oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So like there was a time earlier this year I was working 25-hour work weeks at Costco
Oh.
because we didn't have the money in the budget for hours. We didn't have the work. We didn't have the workload.
Mhm.
So I was doing 25-hour weeks, but I still had full benefits. Like during that time, I was able to go get these glasses that I have and spend a bunch of money that wasn't even mine on these glasses, and I got these glasses for free.
Yeah. Which I
So
would
like
assume a company like Costco probably has pretty good medical benefits, if I had to
if
guess.
if I were to break my arm tomorrow and have to go to the hospital to get it fixed, I'd have to pay $100 deductible for all of the medication and cast and everything.
Oh, that's it? You
That's it.
don't have you don't have what's it called? Oh yeah, deductible. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it?
$100 deductible. That's it.
That's
$100.
all you pay. You don't gotta
That's
pay
it.
what's that bullshit? Is it deductible? Is that the term where
Yeah,
most
that's the
insurances is like you'll have a $5,500 deductible and then
yeah.
until you pay that in a year, they don't cover anything.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That's very nice. Cause like mine, I think for the company I work for is like almost 3 grand until
Yeah.
they give a shit.
So, I we have really, really, really good health benefits. Um, two free teeth cleanings a year.
Hold on, cleat cleanings.
Yeah,
Let's make a note of that.
that always happens. I always say that. Um, two free teeth cleanings a year. Um, up to I want to say $300 in like teeth repair, I
Wow.
guess, for free. Um, $180 budget for glasses,
Oh, there you go.
eyewear, free eye exams. Um, yeah, these glasses were $179.78.
Hit it right at the mark.
Yep, I got as close to that thing as I could.
I
Come
don't blame you.
January, we're gonna have a $200 shoe budget for steel toes. So you can buy up to a $200 pair of steel toes and get it completely refunded.
Ooh,
You just got to bring the receipt.
there you go. I think they do that. Honestly, I think my company does that, but just nobody acknowledges it.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. I got a pretty good deal. And staying there for a long time, there's a lot of money to be made, and
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of upgrades I can do to my life and my family's life that means that. But the only way I'm going to get there and get there quickly, and actually start seeing the changes, is having that fire and drive to move forward.
Yeah,
So
keep hustling.
yep,
Keep hustling, keep busting your ass. You're doing good. I can respect the hell out of that. Now, luckily for me in my position though, I don't have to work 60 hours a week to make 60 hours.
yeah,
So, that is the perk of my job. I bust my ass for my 40 hours and I can make 60, 70 hours depending on well, that's exaggerating. I typically in a 40-hour week, I'll typically get 60 is about my average. But
and
again,
that's
there's no
based on the work you
overtime.
do, right?
Yes, yes, it's so like I said before, I get paid for what I do, not how long I'm there.
Right.
So, as long as I bust my ass, I can make that 60 hours. Now the thing is I don't get overtime. If dude, the amount of money I would have if my past 40 hours was time and a half, oh my god, dude, I would be set.
You wouldn't be sitting here talking to us little people.
Oh, no, I'd still be talking to you guys. I have a blast doing this stuff. But, um, no, I would have a much nicer truck and yeah,
What do you mean? You would not have a nicer truck. You would just have 15 more shitty trucks that you would have to work on.
I feel personally attacked by that statement. Because I had a conversation. Okay, I'll try to keep the car talk to a minimum, but I had a conversation with the wife the other day, and it was mostly her coming at me because I mentioned, yeah, I mentioned on the last episode with, or the Thanksgiving episode with Cowboy, about getting a truck not long ago that had a bunch of body damage,
Mhm.
and I've been bits and piecing fixing it. And the wife came up to me the other day. She's like, "You're planning on keeping that, aren't you?" I said, "No." She's like, "You're gonna keep it, aren't you?" I was like, "I don't know."
Maybe.
And she was like, "You're gonna keep that damn truck." She's like, "What are you gonna do with 3 trucks?" I said, "I don't know."
Whatever I want.
Well, so at the same time, I don't even know what the hell it is. I'd have to ask her, but she ordered some it's not a Cricut, it's some sort of laser cutting thing. I don't know what the hell the point of it is,
Laser
but
cutter. Yeah.
yeah, she ordered this thing because she wanted it, right? I guess she found it on sale or whatever the deal was. She wanted this damn thing, right? I don't know how often she's gonna use it. She might use it she might use the absolute shit out of it. She might not. But I was like, "Well, if you get to order that thing, why can't I have another truck?" And the thing is, I had a Jeep too, but I sold the Jeep. The Jeep's gone now. So I just basically replaced the Jeep with something else. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 vehicles right now, so I really don't have that many. I had like 6 or 7 at one point.
3
Don't
or 4
judge me.
vehicles is not that many, okay.
And 3 of them's trucks.
So I was gonna say you shouldn't feel attacked if it's just the truth, but now, yes, I want you to feel attacked with the statement I made. If you had good money, you would not have a single brand new truck. You would have 15 shitty trucks that you would
That's
work
correct.
on, a different one every single day.
Well, so I don't know what it is. So I have this weird thing when I see a vehicle that I have a problem. So when I see something that's pretty well fucked, but it's not beyond fucked. Like I
You wanna fix it.
I have this thing that I like to call unfucking stuff. So, like, when I see that and it's rough, I wanna unfuck it. Like, I don't want it to just rot away like the truck I have. Yeah, it might have had a tree fall on it and the windshield got blown out, but guess what? It runs and drives. So I can still fix it. It might not have a bed, but you can buy a bed. So
So this is what I need you to do. I need you to take that same attitude the next time you look at yourself in the mirror.
no.
I feel like that was more of a personal attack.
I try to avoid looking in the mirror. Pretty much the only time I look is when I gotta shave.
And for those of you who can't see his face, he has a fairly nice beard, so he doesn't do that often.
Not quite as long as yours. But no, I have to shave. Dude, I get a neck beard like a mother. Like, it connects to my chest hair, so, like, I literally it'll just be hair the whole way down if I don't shave it. It's bad. But I don't like letting my beard get much longer than, like, where it is now. Like, if I've never had it as long as what you have, but, like, if I let it get much longer than this, it gets all itchy.
I pulled a beard hair out a week ago. It's longer than my hair on top of my head.
I have not had that. My hair so I have a 5 head, but, like, my hair is pretty long, but that's because I have it, like, come up and then fall over. But, like, if I wanted to, so, like, if I take it, if I do this, it goes down, I can fill in my unibrow. But
All right, we're gonna stop talking weird stuff now. What's
alright,
new
yeah,
in
moving
games for
on. What's the
you?
topic? Yeah, let's talk about something that people wanna hear about. What's new in games for me? The newest thing is that Marvel Rivals,
Yep,
um,
I'm downloading that
tried
right
that
now.
out. Yep, you got that going because I peer pressured you into that.
It
But
wasn't that hard.
I minimal effort. So, no, I tried that last night, with your friendly neighborhood native raider, and who the hell else was there? Monty. Monty Money was there. And, we were playing that for a bit, and it's very fun. The simplest comparison is it's Overwatch with Marvel characters is the simplest comparison. I'm sure there's other variables. I didn't play enough Overwatch to know for sure, but that's the simplest summation I've gotten of it. And it's quite fun, actually. We had a blast playing it last night. So I only have like 2 or 3 hours in it so far, but that's been fun.
Yeah, I can't
I've been
remember which episode it is exactly, but there was an episode with me, Andromeda, and Cowboy that we talked about games coming out that we were excited for. One of them had picked Marvel Rival to talk about. So it is out now, guys. We will probably be doing an episode on it here in the next month or so, just because it's out. We want to play it. We're going to play it and get some information on it and bring it to you guys. See if you want to play
and
it.
your favorite neighborhood filler host might be there, Beef.
Maybe.
Anyway, no, so I've been playing that. I've still been playing some Helldivers here and there, with a couple of guys over on FUD's Discord. That's still fun. Oh, and update, I finally have a new PC. So that's been nice, enjoying games in high graphic quality. However, I still have something wrong with my PC that I need a PC guru to help me sort out because I don't know what the malfunction is.
It's the
But
problem.
primarily Fortnite. Other games it has happened on, but it will just randomly crash. And
Something's probably not downloaded correctly, or you put it on the wrong drive.
probably. So, bridges that I need to cross that I will eventually. But there's that, and the only other major problem I've had is so I shut my PC down every night, but on initial startup, whatever, like the following day, when I go to start it up, it'll power up, it'll load my main screen, I'll sign in, and about within 5 minutes of startup, the entire PC crashes and does a restart. And once it restarts, it'll be fine the rest of the night. I have zero issues after that. Only
Was
other issue
your
is
was your power supply brand new?
yes.
It might have been faulty.
Oh, great.
Um, Either that or your drivers aren't installed correctly. So one of your drivers that helps make your power supply work isn't correct,
Well,
or it's
yeah,
for an
that's
older power supply, or it's not fully updated like it should be. Like, I don't know. It could be a bad driver. It could be a bad piece of hardware. Um, but that would also probably cause your games to crash. So like if your PC is not heated up all the way, and the power supply is not fully functioning right, if you have a game that tries to take more power than your PC is currently outputting, or if like there's a limiter somewhere that you don't know about, then
mhm.
it could crash the game trying to save the PC.
See, what I've been wondering is if it's just I'm assuming it's probably something with my BIOS settings because that's the only thing I didn't really screw with.
Yeah, that could also be
Um,
it.
because I don't know what to set it at, but I need to find like a true like PC guru who knows like if what all those different acronyms mean in the BIOS
Yeah.
settings. But regardless, it does majority of what I need to. Like last night I was playing Marvel Rivals. I played for like 3 hours last night. Had zero issues the entire time. But then like I'll play Fortnite with my son and I'll hop on and like it happened yesterday. Like I did do one of the guys over on Fudd's Discord, Beard, actually helped me out. And well, he was trying to help me out, and I changed one of the things in my BIOS settings. It was my RAM, some RAM setting. I tried changing that just to see if it would make a difference. Changed it, it did not. Ended up hopping on Fortnite. Less than 5 minutes, like I didn't even get into a match yet, and it just crashed on the lobby screen. Reloaded Fortnite, played for like an hour and a half perfectly fine, and then somewhere in there, it just randomly crashed again, and
I
then
think
rebooted
Fortnite's
just
having
fine.
issues since the update
So I
because
have,
you remember I tried to play with Win and it dropped.
yeah. Yeah, you've been having issues too. And according to Reddit and like just Googling Fortnite crashes, Fortnite has apparently been having issues with the latest NVIDIA graphics drivers
Mm.
software. So that is a thing. But I've also had the same crashing issue. The only other notable game is Call of Duty, which is actually weird because like I've never had it with Helldivers. And I played a good bit of Helldivers. Um, Never had any issues with that. Pal World, Marvel Rivals, not even Wild Hearts. Um, so it is weird that it's primarily Fortnite and COD, but it could be playtime. Regardless, that's what's new for me in gaming for the most part. Satisfactory, I've not gotten to play much of since I got the new PC. Just there's been so I did this stupid thing called downloading way too many games at the same time,
Uh-huh.
and now I get into a paralysis when I start my PC of I don't know what I want to play.
Yep, I've done that.
So yeah, I've been bouncing back and forth. It's pretty much the second somebody says, "Oh, do you want to play this?" I'll hop into that just to have somebody to play with.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. Is
So
I'll I so that's kind of what's new in gaming for me as well. Like all the things you mentioned. I got the Far Cries to play with you. Just downloaded Marvel Rivals, which is now completed. By the way, I just got the notification for that.
look at you.
Um, and I got Black Ops 6 to play with the other guys. But my main game right now is still Wild Hearts. That's my game. It's the game I want to play. I got all
Yeah,
these
I
other
know.
games just so I can play with other people. So,
Hey, I've
if
been playing Wild
somebody,
Hearts with you when I can.
yeah, but if you were to hop on and be like, hey man, what do you want to do tonight? And you said, I don't really feel like playing Wild Hearts. I kind of want to play Marvel Rivals. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do that. But if I'm on by myself, nobody's hopping in to chat with me. I'm just playing a game. I'm playing Wild Hearts.
Yeah, you have been weirdly obsessed with that game. It is fun, but for me, I like I've told you before. So like my weird thing. So Native's weird thing is he hates PVE games. He wants to play
Mhm.
PvP. My weird thing is I don't like playing solo.
Yeah,
Like so for me, like I really want to play Far Cry Primal, right? Like that game seems really like I've played it before. I never completed it, but I've played it before, and it was a very fun game. I really want to play through it again, but it's going to be boring as hell playing by myself. At the very least, I want to like just stream it into Discord or something, so that way somebody can watch while I'm playing or something.
or we could just start it at the exact same time and talk about what we're doing.
Oh, that'd be so cute, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'll hold your electronic pinky,
Oh, just my pinky.
just your pinky.
Oh, that's cute. Um, Anyway, yeah. So continue with what's new in gaming for you. So you've been doing that.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
I,
That's
I
exciting.
honestly I haven't opened any of the games that I've downloaded in the last 2 weeks.
That's a lie. Steam said you opened Far Cry 5.
I did not.
You want to fucking bet?
It might have said I opened it, but I didn't
It
open
said
it.
November 28th, a Rallowin Ranger 001 played Far Cry 5 for the first time.
I might have turned it on, but I think I had to get up and leave or something. Or maybe it
Yeah.
crashed. I don't know.
No,
Something
it was
happened.
I know exactly what happened. It was the night that I told you I wanted to play that, but then we totally derailed and played something else.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So, yeah, but that's pretty much it. I haven't actually tried to play any of the games I've downloaded in the last 2 weeks. So,
Oof.
but that's just because I don't want to. I want to play Wild Hearts. I only even have the other games just to play with other people.
Oh. Well, we'll
So,
play at some point. We're going to get bored of other shit and we'll be able to hop into Far Cry because Far Cry is a fun game series. They dropped the ball not making Primal co-op, but
yeah,
um,
it's a little more
aside from that,
understandable. It's a little bit more understandable because it's more heavy. It's more heavy on your resources.
nah, I think Far Cry was just lazy and didn't feel like putting co-op into it, if I'm being honest. But that's just me. Either way, the games are still fantastic. I love the story. The gameplay's fun. It's a fun ordeal. It's one of those things where, like I said before, it's like a nostalgia kick, but it's a weird one because, like, I feel like I should really want to continue to dive into it, even playing by myself, and I just have zero interest.
Yeah.
Like, I really just want someone to play with. I don't know why. But
Eh,
anyway,
but we don't really have any housekeeping. Only thing I can really say is we do have Cowboys Christmas extravaganza game show event thing that he wants to do next week, I think. I want to say it's
yeah,
next week.
that is coming up.
I don't know if he actually put times or anything else out there. I know that he did put chat in. He added a new channel for special events for people who want to be included. Apparently,
Really?
I'm not allowed to participate because Cowboy, the voice of God, put an X on my picture and a check mark on everybody else's. But
X on your picture. Oh, he did.
yeah, but that's probably because he wants me to help him run it, which is fair. But yeah,
That
so
guy.
if you guys are interested in doing that, go to our special events channel, post a Merry Christmas or a Christmas themed um, thing in the chat in there.
I fixed it for you.
Now I'm half approved, half not approved.
Hey, I have zero authority here. I just want you to feel special.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. Well, I am the only person that's going to have an X on their name, so I do feel kind of special.
Well, and you're the only person that has a check mark from me.
Yep, that is true. But that's that. We still have our giveaway going on. I know we keep talking about it, but that's because we haven't really seen any changes. For the way to get a ticket and to get involved in the giveaway, all you have to do is go into our giveaways screenshot channel, take a screenshot that you are following us on any of the platforms that we have our podcast on, put it in that channel, and you are given a ticket. If you invite somebody into our channel and they do the same thing, they take a screenshot that they're following us somewhere and they put it in that screenshot channel, you both get a ticket. But the thing is, you have to invite them. So just make sure that you're aware of that. You have to be the one to send the invite. So, that being said, those are our housekeeping things. Now, Beef, how do you feel about the main topic, Wild
I like it, but I'm nowhere near as excited as you are. I know you're absolutely obsessed with this game. You've been loving it.
I couldn't tell you why, honestly. I could not. I love it.
So I've been enjoying it. So it's weird for me. So I tried one of the Monster Hunter games. I couldn't even guess which one it was, but I tried one of them. It was one of the more recent ones. A couple of years ago, I tried it, and it was all right. But I couldn't get into the mechanics of it because the Monster Hunter games just felt so clunky,
Yeah.
and they they were so clunky and so slow paced that it just felt like blah. Plus, I had like no friends to play with, and that's another thing. Like I've said before, like I like having people to play with. It makes the experience a lot more fun. So, like I dropped it, or I tried that, didn't really like it, It's weird because I thought I was going to love it. So I don't know if you know the older game series Lost Planet.
I've
Don't know
heard of
if you
it, but
ever
I've never
played them.
played it.
So it's hard to compare it, but essentially, so Lost Planet, there was guns and it was more futuristic and stuff like that. But it was, in terms of similar, there was a bunch of massive ass monsters that you had to fight throughout this game. Like just massive monsters or creatures, whatever. But it was very storyline driven
Mhm.
versus like, oh, you have to go on a hunt and then go through these stages and do this and do that. No, it was just you had to go kill this big ass thing that was screwing something up.
Yeah.
Um, but they were older games. They were very fun for me, and they were a little clunky too. Um, what were they produced by, like Capcom or something? I can't remember. But it was just very clunky mechanics, but I enjoyed those. So I was like, you know what, I might like Monster Hunter. Tried it, absolutely hated it. I did not enjoy the Monster Hunter mechanics. It was too slow paced. It was just too blah. So I hop into Wild Hearts with you because, Mr. Ranger, you love peer pressuring me into games. And by that I mean just talking about them and then I buy it once it goes on sale.
So you're saying that I am very convincing just talking about things I enjoy.
I don't know, maybe I just like you and want to play games with you. My God.
Beef thinks I'm pretty, guys.
Oh, that too. But
Beef demands every time we play together that I stream just my face to the Discord, and he has his Discord pulled up on his second screen.
I can neither confirm nor deny this information.
Not
So
every time. It's only every once in a while. It's like, hey man, I haven't seen you in a while. Where's your face?
I'm lonely. You haven't had me on a podcast in like 3 days. So, no, you had me hop into Wild Hearts, and I was, to be honest, I was extremely skeptical getting it
Hmm.
because, like, you did do that one night where you had me, like, make the choices and you played on the character, and, like, that was cool, but it's like, it's totally different from actually playing the game.
Yeah.
So, like, I was watching it and having you go through it and doing that, and I was like, "Oh, this looks," to be honest, I was like, "This looks like I'm not gonna enjoy this," right? But that was first impressions, and then you said it went on sale, and I was like, "Alright, I'll get it, and I'll try it." And I have been enjoying it, and I did play today like I told you I was going to. I played for a bit earlier, and I fought the skunk with a freaking, uh, spiky tail thing, whatever the hell it's called. Um, Fought that thing and killed it, but it was not fun playing solo. Now, the one little feature that I learned is if you're in the middle of a fight and you're getting pooped on, the game will prompt you that you can request reinforcements or whatever the prompt was. But essentially, you can put out a little beacon and then random people can join you and help you. So I did that, and some rando joined me, and thank God he knew how to play because he made my life much easier. Ended up getting through the fight, and it was fun. And the mechanics of this game overall have been a lot more, at least comparatively to Monster Hunter, very fluid.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel super clunky with your movements. It's not like, here's an attack, then here's an attack, then here's an attack. It's go, 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 go through your flow. You still have, it's very repetitive in terms of your combos and like what you're trying to do. And I'm sure with the different weapons, there's a lot of variety because I haven't like actually used any weapon other than the bow in a hunt. But I did like you were there that one night when I was just
Yeah.
trying them out on the training dummy, and there's definitely a lot of different mechanics to get used to with the different weapons.
Yeah. So
And
that's probably the most unique part in my opinion, because you only have two attack buttons, X and Y. Or if you're on GameCube controller, square and triangle. And
I'm sorry, what?
if you're on a GameCube controller, that's what I said.
That
PlayStation
that is what you
controller.
said. There you go.
I guess I was picturing the square button in my mind. So I said GameCube for some reason. I don't know. I'm
Brother, half
tired,
the
guys.
people
It's been a
listening to
long
this
week. I'm sorry.
half the people listening to this probably don't even know what a GameCube is.
No, actually, majority of our people that listen is over 30.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That's
Our
exciting.
our biggest age range that we have is between I want to say 28 and 38.
Oh, I'm right in there.
Yeah.
And Native's just outside of that.
Yep. He's just over it.
I
Not by
gotta come
much.
at I gotta come at him for being old because he wants to feel like he's young all the time.
Um, but yeah, so like you only have two attack buttons. So yes, you have your combos, but each weapon has its own weapon bar, and it's filled different ways, usually by dealing some kind of damage, right? You deal X amount of damage, you get your gauge buildup. One of the weapons, you build your gauge by switching the way the weapon works. So it's called the Karakuri staff. You haven't unlocked it yet.
Yeah, I've not.
But the way it works is it starts out kind of like a bow staff, like a stick, and you do a combo, and at the end of your combo, you're prompted with an orange flash on your screen. You push the right trigger, and it changes the shape of the weapon, and it goes from the bow staff into 2 daggers.
Oh.
So it separates. And then you do a different kind of a combo because now you have a different weapon. When you see the flashing prompt, you do it again, and it turns into a giant shuriken, like a giant
Oh.
4-pronged shuriken that it throws, and like you can use as a slash attack with. And when you click the button again, it turns into a spear essentially. And when you hit the button again, whole thing starts over. So it goes from staff to daggers to shuriken to spear and back, and it just loops. And that's how you do your combos with that weapon. I see your
This is
kitty.
my cat.
See your kitty.
Every now and again, she wants attention. She'll come say hi. It's only when she wants it, though. She'll hop
Yeah.
down in about 30 seconds. Anyway, that sounds really cool. The only one that I've tried that's comparable to that is the, what do they call it? The katana? That does that little, like, you can switch it to the
Yeah.
chain attack.
Yeah. So that's basically like an extension, right? The blade extends out and does its whole thing.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I do like that different stuff. Like, for me, so I've been using the bow primarily, which I've been liking it, and if I can land the combos, it can do tremendous damage.
Hmm.
But the biggest predicament with the bow in this game, which it's good, but I feel like they should have made the range at least a little bit longer, because like, you have to be pretty damn close for the bow to be effective,
So
because once
the reason it's a mid-range weapon and not a long-range weapon is because they do have a long-range weapon. You just haven't unlocked it yet.
Oh, they do?
It's called the hand cannon, and
Oh, that's long range?
it's literally a giant cannon, like artillery cannon that you hold and shoot shots of energy out of.
Oh.
I've never used it, so I don't know what the actual combos for it are, or like what the actual moveset is. But
Mhm.
Cowboy said that he played with it, and he said that it was pretty fun.
Well, I like long range stuff and being able to be like support and just doing DPS from afar.
Yeah.
So I may end up liking that. I've still been really enjoying the bow. If I had to pick of the starter stuff that I have, the next one I might dig into is gonna be the katana,
Hmm.
because I did like the way that felt, and then just switching to that chain attack, like, that felt pretty good too. The mallet for me was a little slow. I know you've been using it a good bit, like, when you and I played together, you were using it,
Yeah.
but to me, it felt slow. That and that big ass sword thing, the
Nodachi.
Nodachi, yeah, that felt really slow too, and I was like, "Eh." I don't like slow. I
Yeah.
want it to feel faster and fluid and be able to keep moving and doing stuff, and, like, the katana does that. Even that fricking umbrella thing.
Yeah. The Wagasa.
Yeah, which is literally an umbrella with blades on it. But,
It's
like,
fun.
that yeah, like, that
I used
seemed
that for a
very
while.
fast. Yeah, that seemed very fast-paced, and that might be another one I try at some point too. But
So
I'm still really loving the bow.
here's the thing about these types of games. Any kind of Monster Hunter type game. The faster you get, the less damage you do per hit.
Yes.
So the bow that you actually like is more of a mid-range speed
Mhm.
because of the switching of the modes that you have to do. For those of you who haven't played, you have a sideways shooting mode and a upright shooting mode. So you're either shooting like imagine if you're holding it like the bow is a crossbow and you're pulling the string back. That's the sideways. And then how you would imagine it in like a high fantasy setting, like Legolas shooting down the wargs and Lord of the Rings, like straight up and down, pull back and launch. There's 2 modes there. Um, and it doesn't switch super fast, but it switches fast enough that you don't feel slow. But it's more of a mid speed. Um, Out of the weapons that I think you have access to, the fastest one, I believe, is the bladed Wagasa. It's the umbrella.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the fastest one, but it deals the least amount of damage out of all of them.
Oh.
So per hit, you're dealing less damage. So it can take longer in fights. So that's the trade-off, is especially when you're playing solo. Now, if you're playing with a group, it really doesn't matter as much, because like I'm in the front with my maul whacking the beast, and you're in the back with your bow. So you have effectively a tank, which I did, by the way, find a better way to be a tank.
Oh, to where you actually draw the aggro
Yeah.
versus me getting chased down by it while you're
Yep.
supposed to be the tank?
Yep.
Well, that's
So
good.
it's the talismans. I don't know if you've collected any yet.
No.
You probably have. You just don't know about it.
Okay.
But they're pieces of paper, and they're talismans with like words and stuff written on them, but they have different effects.
Yeah, I do not know. Like, I know it exists, but I forget to do it every time, is eat the food for the different buffs
Yeah.
when you go into a hunt. I did make my own drying rack at a new camp on that island right after, Minato.
Yeah.
I did make my own drying rack, and I have a bunch of food on there doing its thing to improve whatever. But will I remember to grab it off and eat it and actually use it properly? Probably not.
Yeah. But so apparently there was a talisman I saw that there's an ability that basically it means that whenever you're hitting a monster, it aggroes you. It is the chance that it aggroes you is much higher. I think it's like called aggressor or something. But
Okay.
it basically makes the monster want to attack you. So I did find that, so I can be a better tank now.
And I actually, to touch on that, after getting to Minato, whatever the hell it is, after getting to that town, it unlocked a different armor set for me. Obviously, I don't have it yet, but I was looking at the skills for it, and the one or a couple different pieces had like stealth on it, and
Yeah.
essentially it was stuff to reduce my chances of the monster targeting me,
Yeah.
which is probably the point of using the bow and arrow. So that way you can reduce the chances it targets you. So that way you can just do your DPS while you have someone like you with the mallet tanking the damage
Yeah. So
or the aggro.
we've got some more learning to do the farther in we get to the game to figure out how the teamwork is going to be the best possible that it could be. But it's still very fun, I think, to play together. Um, as far as like main objective for the game, it does have a storyline. Um, we have not completed the storyline yet, but the main objective is to hunt monsters, kill them, take their pieces, turn them into armor and weapons, and wash, rinse, repeat. It's the same as any other monster hunting style game, armor creation game, collecting type game. Same exact thing as that. So if you like those kinds of games, it's very, very fun in my. Um, Both Beef and Cowboy got the game on my recommendation, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think both of you did say that the visuals were surprisingly like really good.
Um, I will correct you in the sense that I think they're very good, but I think Cowboy explicitly was coming at the fact that he was disappointed with the visuals because it's a 2023 game.
That's right. He did say that. You're correct.
So I personally think it looks very good. Could I kind of agree with him that, yeah, it's a 2023 game, it should look a little bit better? Yeah, but it's an EA game, and it's not like it's a triple at least I don't think it's a triple A game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, EA might be backing it, but it definitely wasn't, like, their forefront, like, their prime leader of production. Would I say do I think it's a very good-looking game? Yes. Do I think it's a very well-playing game? Yes. Uh, do I think it's like, "Oh, this is the best game I've played in years?" No.
Yeah.
But that's because this isn't the genre for me. Do I enjoy it? Absolutely. And will I play with you if you ask me to? Sure. You and Cowboy both? Absolutely. I'll hop in and play. Do I foresee myself playing through the whole thing solo just to get to the end of the story? No, not really. Because I'm not into solo gameplay.
Right.
I like playing with
You don't
people.
like story driven games per se.
Well, so here's the predicament. I do. I do like story-driven games, and in my younger years, I was all for even just playing through solo campaigns. Like Sly Cooper was one that I mentioned on here before. That was a huge childhood game for me that I loved. I would play through that game because the only option is to play it solo the whole way through. I absolutely loved that game, but or that game series rather. But this just isn't the kind of game for me that I'm gonna be like that I'm hopping on being like, "Oh, I wanna play this. I wanna run through the story. I gotta see what the next thing is that's gonna happen." And that's just because it's not the kind of thing I'm into. Now, if you and I play enough to the point where we get to the end of the story on my playthrough or whatever, then awesome, that's cool. But that's not like something where it's like, "Oh shit, I have to do this. I gotta get on
Right.
and do this." And it's just that's just the way I am with games. Now, if you're somebody who likes Monster Hunter-esque games, but you don't like how clunky the game feels, you're probably gonna love this game.
Yeah.
Would I advise buying it at full price at $70?
No,
Absolutely not.
absolutely not.
This game is not worth to me, it's not worth $70. Even if it went on sale for like 30 bucks. 30 bucks? I'd pay 30 bucks for it. It's at least a $30, $40 game. Is it a $70 game? Absolutely fucking not. Like it's not a $70 game. I don't know where EA pulled that number out of their ass to say that's a $70 game because it's a very good game and it's very fun, but it's very niche.
Yes, I agree.
It's not Call of Duty. Now, granted, Overwatch is I'm pretty sure Overwatch is free right now, but
Yes.
it's not Call of Duty, it's not World of Warcraft, it's not Fortnite, it's not a major mainstream AAA game. Do I think that it should be $70? No. I don't know where EA came up with that. But
Honestly, I think that
I've been enjoying it.
it was a number they came up with when the game was first being launched because that's kind of how games are being priced nowadays.
Yeah.
And it in their mind, it's not old enough for them to drop it down, but that's why it's so heavily discounted when it goes on sale. They
Yes.
know that the price should be lower for what it is and for the uh, genre that it is. But
Yeah, it's just a matter of it being so niche. Because like, even if we go back to the legendary Pal World that we've talked about a million times, like, I still personally think Pal World's a fantastic game. I love the game. I'm on a it's been a bit of a dry spell lately, but that's because I'm end game of end games. I've ran out of shit to do. I'm not so if I was someone who 100%ed all the games I play, then yeah, I have a ton of stuff to do. Like, I have not gone around and got all the world bosses. I have not gone around and done all the dungeons. I haven't even explored the whole fricking map. But that's just because I don't care. For
yeah,
me, I just want to get to the end game and be at the point that I want to be at, and then I'm content. Now, that was a total sidetrack, and I don't know where the hell I was going with that.
we were talking
Um,
about pricing, and I'm imagining you were going somewhere with they know that their game's not finished, so their early access cost is low.
I'm gonna go with that because I don't know what I was gonna say. So, yeah, it like Pal World, 30 bucks, absolutely worth every penny of $30. Pal World, now granted though, I dumped like nearly 400 hours into that game in like 6 months. So, which I've learned in perspective. Like to me, 400 hours is a lot of hours, right?
Yeah,
Like I feel like that's a lot of fucking time to play a game. Not if you're somebody who's a real gamer.
yeah,
400 hours is like you just started playing. Because like
yeah.
most people that I've met,
Native's almost 800 hours, I think.
yeah,
And
like, and I thought 400 hours was too much. I
I've
think you're
got
in the 500s, aren't you?
yeah, around 530.
Yeah, and like I thought 400 was just excessive because that's nearly okay. So the only other game that beats that hours wise is Rocket League. In terms of Steam games, now when I was younger, Call of Duty 4 probably beat that because the original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I had to have put thousands of hours into that game when I was in middle school. There's no way I didn't because I was not a popular kid. I went home and I played Call of Duty. But like this game though, either way, back on the topic. This game, it is a very fun game. I just think it's highway robbery at 70 bucks an hour or
Yeah.
$70.
I think
I
that for the game plus the DLC that you can get with it, I learned it's not actually like an update, it's more just extra stuff.
mhm.
It's not like a more story, I don't think. I'd have to look into it a little bit more because initially when I got it, I thought that it was more story and that there was going to be more story that it was tacked on to the end. But I'm
Mhm.
starting to think that that might not be the case. Um,
I don't
so
think I got DLC when I got it. I think I just got the core game.
okay, so when I got it, I got the DLC and I got it for 24. I
I
think
don't
you said you got it for just under 20, right?
uh, oh, no, I got it yeah, it was well under 20.
Then yeah, you got just the base game.
if I go to the store page here, yeah, I do not have it. The Karakuri edition.
Yes.
Oh, the Karakuri upgrade. Okay, I see here, $20. Yeah, no, I definitely do not have that. I just have the base game, and like right now, it's $70. If you wanted the edition, it's another $20. So you'd be spending $90 if you wanted the game plus
Yeah.
an like.
It's additional.
Yeah. And see, like the thing is, so here goes to like touch on like, so this game is fun. Like I said, I've definitely been enjoying it. And if it goes on sale to anybody listening, it is, if you're remotely into Monster Hunter esque things, but you thought the game was too slow paced, this is definitely going to fill that void. But I would wait till it goes on sale. Because it's not going to be $70 worth of entertainment. Well, it'd be, I'd say, I would have spent $40 on it, but I got like $40 worth of, and I'm going to continue to play it, obviously.
So do you want to
But
hear what the Karakuri upgrade has?
it's probably
It's gonna
not
make
enough
you.
to
It's
make it
gonna
worth
make.
$20.
It is not. So it has 2 full cosmetic armor sets. They don't do anything. They're just cosmetic. A
Oh my god,
decorative,
this is
a decorative Tsukumo lantern, and 3 emotes. That's what it comes with.
that's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing for $20.
That's like really embarrassing
So
because
yeah,
I'm
this
looking at it
game,
here too.
this game at full price, not worth it. I love this
No,
game. I am enjoying every moment of playing it. At full price. I never would have touched it.
yeah, no.
It's
Because even when
now,
you bought it on sale too, didn't you?
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's the only reason I bought it.
yeah.
Now it is on uh, Xbox Game Pass, and it's on Xbox Game Pass PC. I did
Oh,
not
so it's
know that.
free.
Yeah, I did not know that when I initially bought it. But you can get it if you have Game Pass and stuff for free. So that being said, that's probably the best way to go if you already have Game Pass. Even if you don't have Game Pass, there's a lot of fun games on Game Pass. Uh, Black Ops is currently on Game Pass,
Hmm.
and Game Pass is like $15 a month.
If you're an avid gamer and you like to play a variety of games, Game Pass is definitely worth it. Now,
Yeah,
like my wife, the only game that she'll ever play annually is Call of Duty, and she'll play for like a few months. Like, and she just finally tonight got it and downloaded it. Um, she played a little bit earlier, but I'm hoping to be able to play that with her in the near future. Um, but she'll only like the only time of year she starts gaming is when it gets cold outside, too cold for her to go out and do shit.
yeah,
So then it turns into, okay, well, we're just hanging out at home. Now I need to fill the void. So now I have to play Call of Duty. So she just finally got it. But she doesn't even have Game Pass because there's no point in her paying for that monthly subscription because she only plays for 2 to 3 months of the year.
right.
So
So,
she just
long
went ahead
story
and bought the
short,
game.
it's a good game. The music is very ambient, and it hits right. It hits right for what you.
Yes.
It's not. I don't think it's anything crazy. It's nothing like super phenomenal. Like the composers are next level or anything like that. But it is definitely very ambient to what is going on, both in the story, the cutscenes, and in the actual gameplay. Um, so it is not lacking in the theatrical appearance of the sound. Um, the only complaint I think I would have about the entire game, because I do enjoy these kinds of games, the only complaint I would have is the price point. If you get it on sale or on Game Pass, totally worth it. I got the game plus the add-on for $23. That's what, a third the price of a new game now,
Hmm.
and less than a third of the price for the game not on sale.
Yeah, and a little bit over the cost of a couple of cosmetic add-ons.
Yeah. So it is definitely worth looking at, but it is not worth $90 for a handful of add-ons in a game. I would say if I were to buy this game full price, I would buy it if it were $40. That would be my top out, and it would hurt.
Same.
I wouldn't be super exactly like thrilled about it, but I would buy it.
I would have been okay with it at that price, but I would have had to have done more research into it. When you reached out to me and you're like, "Oh, I want you to get this to play with me," I was like, "Ah, screw it." It was like $13, $15, something like that when it was on sale. Because you messaged me on Thanksgiving Day and it was like a stupid good deal.
Yeah,
And I was like, "All right, I'll get it." So that's why I went ahead and got it. So I know I keep talking all this shit on the price point. It is a very fun game. It's just it's not worth the full price.
Correct.
It's one of those things where you're gonna probably have fun with it for a month or 2. You might put a good chunk of hours into it, depends on how invested you get into the story and progression and whatnot. I'm sure there's a grind to this game in some capacity if you wanted to get, like, all of the different armors and all the different things. I'm sure there's a grind to it. Do I foresee this being a game that people are gonna wanna sit down and grind for 500 hours? No. No. Do I foresee this being a game
Are
where
you
people
looking at
put
me right now?
Yeah.
Then think about what you just said because I'm actively doing that. I have stopped progressing the story and I am purely going back and collecting the armor pieces for where I'm at. Partially because I'm waiting on you and Cowboy, but also because I just enjoy this game.
So, to everybody except Ranger, it's going to be a game where you'll probably play through it and have fun. I don't know. I've been enjoying it, but, like, I'm a bad example because I'm not a solo player. I prefer playing co-op. So, like, any chance I get to play with Ranger, I'll hop on and play with him. But aside from that, if he ain't on, I'm gonna be playing something else.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of game for me. But I have been very much so enjoying the combat. Feels good. The cinematics of how they not cinematics, that's a bad example. Or a bad word. The way the game looks, it does look very good.
The graphics.
I Yes. The graphics, the artwork, it's very Japanese. I can tell you that much. And the one little criticism I'll give, which it's just me being a grammar Nazi, is like
The
so
random
they
Japanese words in the talking.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is very clearly so you'll go into little interactions with just NPCs in the game, right? And it's in English, and the voiceover's in English, and so are the subtitles. But it'll go through, and I can't do a good Japanese accent to save my life, but essentially they'll be saying an entirely normal English sentence, and then whatever that one word is in the middle of the sentence that is Japanese, like Minato, it'll literally be like, "Oh, hey everybody, welcome over to this town, Minato, where we do all these different things." And it's like, okay, well, you clearly cut that out of someone else saying that and then fit it into that sentence just to make it sound like that, and it does not work.
Yeah.
Um, so
There's
that's a
a
little
little bit
pet
of
peeve.
cheese. There's a little bit of cheese going on with that. So it's kind of like the same for if you've ever heard anybody who is a native Spanish speaker speak English and they switch to Spanish, their voice is higher pitched.
Mhm.
So it's just the tone of the language, right? So it's the language changing, not necessarily the person.
Now, do you think that person voice acting was doing that all in one cut, or do you think that was cut into those sentences?
I think they did it all in one cut.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it gives me that clunky vibe of they just literally somebody was sitting like it's all the same voice throughout the whole sentence, but to me it gives me that vibe of they said the whole thing in English and they were probably like Minato, and then they come back through and they're like Minato, and
Well, and
then
that's
they
just the
cut
thing
that in.
is if their voice actors aren't actually Japanese, then that's where that would be a problem.
Oh, you know what? It's probably just
Japan second
yeah,
language, Japanese second language, or even
yeah.
somebody who doesn't even know the language and they're just being taught how to say these words.
This is EA. They picked a couple people up off of Fiverr and said, "Hey, read these lines."
Yeah. So
But no,
yeah,
aside from that, it has been a very fun game so far. I do look forward to playing through more of it. I don't as of right now, I will say like, it does have a story to it, but I will say the story has not, like, sucked me in to where I'm like, "Oh, I need to follow this story and see where this goes."
yeah, it
But
gets more
it's
interesting
still
the
there.
deeper you get. Like once you beat the first chapter, I think you'll start to be a little bit more invested. It being as it's not your style of game, you won't be fully invested ever. But I think that once you finish the first chapter, I think you'll get slightly more invested because it's actually like that's when the story kind of started getting good in my
Well, isn't the first chapter finished when you make it to the first city?
no.
Oh, there's still more shit? Damn it.
You're almost there
Okay.
though. Making it to the city is like the island that you're on right now is the back half of the first chapter.
Okay,
And
so
if
I'm
you
getting
remember
there.
correctly, the first chapter or the first half of the first chapter before you got to Minato was 3 hunts, technically. You only had to hunt 3 monsters.
Yeah, the mouse, the yeah.
So if you only had to technically hunt 3, we just did more so that we could have
Yeah,
better
we
stuff.
just rinse, wash, repeated, did them a couple times.
Yeah. So it doesn't take very long if you try and blow through it, but when you actually want to stop and enjoy the game and make your gear better before your next fight, stuff like that, then it's going to take longer. But
Yeah,
I think that's
that's
all we pretty much have to say on Wildverse today. What do you think?
um
Any final thoughts?
final thoughts. Nothing that I haven't already rinsed, washed, and repeated twice. So
There you go.
it's
Perfect.
a fun game. It is fun. It's just very niche is the biggest thing.
Yeah. So news and updates, guys. We have 2 for you today. So Path of Exile 2, which I've been hearing a lot about, is launching their early access. Um, if you like Path of Exile, supposedly Path of Exile 2 is 10 times better from things I've been hearing about. So if you're into those kinds of games, if you know what that kind of game is, I've never played, so I'm not 100% sure. Go check it out and let me know in the show feedback, because if you have played, I would really like to hear more about it.
Isn't that supposed to be that like Diablo-like game in
Yeah,
terms of gameplay?
something like that.
Yeah, because like I watched some bits and pieces of people playing that, but I haven't like watched it thoroughly. But what I've gathered is it's obviously not Diablo, but like the overall play style is similar to Diablo.
Yeah. Um, we've also got a new Fortnite 5v5 mode coming out
Oh,
in December, I think is what it said.
I
Let
did not
me
actually hear about that. That's exciting.
let me double check because I just realized that I'm in the podcast with somebody who would actually like to know what's going on.
With Fortnite?
Yeah,
What? No.
December 11th. So as of this recording, 4 days away. Um, Plus, Fortnite OG Chapter 1 Season 1 and Battle Royale Chapter 6 Season 1 are available today.
Oh, that started today.
Today, yeah, at 9 a.m. is when it came into our server.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah,
well
so
then
it's a
I probably have a Fortnite
5v5
update.
tactical FPS mode coming December 11th.
Wait, FPS? First person shooter?
Yep, that's what it says.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Basically, Fortnite is turning into COD.
Well, yeah, that's the synopsis I got from that. But seriously, FPS Fortnite? Like
It'll be interesting.
I
It'll be
get it
definitely worth looking
certain
at.
yeah, like certain guns you aim down sight and it looks very first person, like if you ever had dot sight or a sniper scope or something like that.
Mhm.
But Fortnite entirely first person, I don't know how I feel about that.
You won't know until you try it out, huh?
Oh well, that might be what I end up getting sucked into. We'll see. I've been enjoying that Marvel Rivals. I do want to play more of that.
Yeah. I need to get in on that tonight. I'll probably at least play a little bit tonight, whether I'm by myself or not.
Yeah, Mister, I gotta go do chores.
I do.
Mister, gotta be a responsible adult.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, Dad. Um, so questions for the show. Beef, you want to take one and I'll take one?
Oh shit, hold on. I'm irresponsible. I wasn't ready. You didn't give me enough segue.
What's a Segway?
I don't know.
I do know. A
Uh,
Segway is a small scooter.
oh, I should ask my question, but it's too
Go
late.
for it.
No, it's too late. This doesn't apply anymore. My question was, why have you guys not had a sing off yet? And why are you gonna do it on this episode? But that was supposed to be for the episode with you and Danger on it. And then you guys never
Yeah,
even, like, I even posted that question while you were recording
you
that
did.
episode
I
and you didn't
forgot.
acknowledge it.
I acknowledged it to everybody else during the intermission, and I forgot about it. I'm sorry,
You
Beef.
son of a bitch.
But, 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 there is on the Blueberry Lounge podcast. They have said that they are workshopping an idea for basically a sing off contest type thing where they have me, Danger, and all the people who they think have done like the best show up on the show and basically have a competition.
Yeah, well, I'm pissed because I requested this shit like 3 months ago,
Hey
and they
man,
are
these
dragging.
things take time, all right? You're not a true podcaster yet. You don't understand what happens in the background, Beef.
Alright, well, hold on. If I gotta pick
That was very sarcastic for everybody who was listening. I'm not actually bashing on Beef.
I was half listening to what you said, so I didn't even acknowledge that.
Perfect.
So if I had to pick a different oh, no, I can't pick that. Um Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna pick this question because I already know my answer. So, question in from Chase Raz. Question: if you could rework any retro game into UE5, Unreal Engine 5, what game would you choose and why? And do you want me to start? Because I already know exactly what game it would be.
Go for it.
So it would be a series of games. It would be the Sly Cooper games. If those got
Oh, that could be
remastered,
good.
oh my god! If they remastered the Sly Cooper games into Unreal Engine 5, I would be in absolute heaven.
That could
But
be
I'm
really
in the
good.
minority because not a lot of people have played that series. So that would be my absolute the like hill I would die on if there would be a game that could be remastered. Sly Cooper series. Now it would have to be the whole series though. I would not be okay with just one of the games in particular. It would have to be the whole series.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would probably go with the Pokemon series because I think they could do really well with Unreal Engine 5.
Ah, fuck Nintendo.
I mean, I don't disagree, but
Sorry, I just had to fill the native void. He's not here to say it today, so I'm going to say it for him.
but uh, I think it could do really well in Unreal Engine. Will they
Yeah,
ever do it? No, not at all. But and also, if it makes you feel any better, I do see a question for Danger here that we completely ignored that Native put in the chat that Native was on the episode for. So
the question for Danger?
yeah.
Oh wait, oh yeah, Native was on that episode, and then he put that question. Is he special?
Yep. I don't know. I mean, he's pretty special to me. He's very handsome.
How does Native do that? Like, I feel like he just clocks out once he starts recording a podcast.
Sometimes if you're paying attention, you can see his eyes glaze over and he forgets what he's doing for a second, and then he like reboots like a computer.
Yeah, the old Windows. What was that? Windows XP.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Basically, I do the same thing too. It happens.
Ah,
All right, I'm gonna do an older one.
okay.
And I don't understand the question from Manticore, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. Giant number that I don't know what place that is divided by 7. What's the quantum and what's the remainder?
Working on it.
Calculator.
Copy paste is a hell of a thing.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that because I don't think I have the brain capacity to even attempt to do that.
So for you, Manticore, my computer's calculator said invalid input when I tried to copy and paste that number. Apparently it's too much. Hold on. Did I get the space in there? Is that what the problem was? Let's try this again. I got this, I swear. Nope, invalid input, even if I took the space out. So my PC's computer told you to pound sand, so I don't have an answer for you, Manticore. Or my PC's calculator, if I could talk. I have no idea. Do you want to try to type that out into a calculator?
I'm trying, and it stopped.
I was going to say, like, hold on. What is the quantum and the remainder? To Google.
Yeah, no, it stops after a certain point. That's why it's invalid.
I'd like you to know my Google search history now says mega calculator in it. This isn't helping. Calculator.net. Found it. Hold on. I got this. Manticore, I will get you an answer, I swear. I feel like this isn't going to give me the answer I want. Y equals 7. That doesn't help. Oh, for fuck. Please provide positive integer as precision. What? Precision blank digits after the decimal place in the result. 5. Oh no. What's the quantum and the remainder? Manticore, I got nothing for you, dude. I'm not a mathematician. I give up.
1.042609.5 plus 94, 94 being the remainder.
Hold on, 1054? Is that what you said?
No, 1.042609.5.
A tredecillion. I have no idea, dude. That Manticore, you just word vomited that number on your keyboard, and I don't know what fancy website you used to solve that equation, but I give up. Calculator.net told me to pound sand too, so I.
We tried. We are not smart enough to answer your question appropriately, and I am sorry for that. if you could educate us in the show feedback, that'd be nice because I don't know what a quantum is. I'm sitting here at my computer. I could Google what a quantum is. Hang on. Hold, please. Okay. The term quantum, for a mathematical point of view, signifies the smallest and discrete quantity that can be employed in order to characterize a quantum system. All the quantum mechanics equations can be viewed as mathematical equations. So basically, the smallest number it can be. So if you divide it by 7, it gives you the answer. That's what quantum is. And then you have the remainder. So maybe I gave you the correct answer to an extent. I didn't give you all the decimals because E stands for echo, I think, and it keeps going. I don't remember what E actually stands for in a calculator, but I know that
Extreme bullshit. That's what that stands for.
Yeah.
The number's too damn big for me.
Yeah, Manticore, if you want to just go ahead and give us the actual answer in the show feedback so that we know and can feel slightly less stupid the next time you ask, that'd be great.
Yeah, and if you could drop the link to a website that can solve that, that'd be fantastic.
I mean, Google just pulled it up.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you know how to use the internet.
All right. Now, our astronaut of the week is Senor Cato _Valermos. Cato Valermos. You are the astronaut of the week, buddy. If you hear this episode, because I'm not sure if you're one of our active listeners, and you hear that you're the astronaut of the week, you have name-changing powers for the rest of the week. Please change my name from Pop-Tarts. I don't want to be Pop-Tarts forever.
Don't change his name.
Our streamer of the week. We have a repeat streamer of the week, but that's because this guy has been very active and he is seriously trying to grow his community. He's a great guy. He's got a great community he's forming over there. HD Technical. And you guys can find him at twitch.tv/HD Technical. He plays primarily Destiny 2. And that's kind of what he's doing with his streaming community. He also has a Discord community that I will, if I remember, I will link in the show notes as well. I probably won't remember, but I'm sure it's linked to his Twitch, and I will put his Twitch in the show notes because that is part of the process. So, yeah, but HD, he's a great guy. He's fun to watch, fun to talk to, and he just go check him out. So, outside of that, as you guys know, you can find me and Beef scattered all over the different Discords. You can find me right here in the Astronaut Arcade Podcast, the Power World Podcast, a couple episodes of a couple other podcasts here and there, and you can find me on Twitch every occasional once in a while. That is coming fewer and farther in between because work decided that I wanted to work 60 plus hours a week every week. But yeah, that's where you guys can find us. So thank all of you guys for coming to show up to listen, hear us talk about random crap and a video game that you guys probably aren't very interested in. But we enjoy that you guys came and hung out with us for a while anyways. Thank you to Beef for coming to help me out tonight. I'm sure there's plenty of rivals that you would marvel in the space of time that you could be doing that instead of being here with me. But
no, I'd rather be here with you, man. Don't even. Like, I know I bullshit a lot, but I'd rather be here helping you out than fucking playing that. Like, I opened Satisfactory just to let it run in the background just because it's passive production. But, like, even that I've faded off of. So, like, I'm happy to be here, man. Like I've said before, I'm very grateful. Anytime you ask me to help you out on the podcast, I'm more than willing to do so as long as time allows. So,
well, I greatly appreciate that. Listeners out there, we love you. Thank you again for stopping by. Come back next week, and the week after, and the week after that. Tell your friends, tell your family. Tell the weird guy at work that nobody talks to, because he probably needs some love too.
yeah, his name might be Irrelevant Ranger.
Awesome. Thank you all for listening to the Astronaut Arcade Podcast, where we take one small step for man and a giant leap for gamerkind.
And Pluto is a planet.
Is most definitely a planet.